Welcome to Raw Dog Game Reviews. Well, I guess it's just going to be the Raw Dog Gaming now because I've decided that it takes a long time to finish a game and I've got a busy schedule. So I'm starting a new segment called Raw Dog Game Impressions or just Raw Impressions. I'm going to say Raw Impressions. So what's going to happen here is that it's going to be the same thing as my reviews, except I'm not going to finish the game. I'm going to, play a little bit of the game, maybe a couple days worth, I don't know, see how I feel with each game, and I'm going to give my raw impressions of the game and tell you what I think about this game on my first play. And we can also go ahead and compare this with the raw reviews that will come out. So we can see if my impressions changed and how I felt about the game changed. So I think this will be fun, and I want to make more content, and I want to have a fun time trashing on games and just talking about games. So I think we're going to do this. So this is going to be the raw impressions. Welcome, and let's get to it.
Okay, and welcome to another Raw Impression. So, today we're talking about Sonic X Shadow Generations. Oh yeah, baby. So obviously, if you've watched any of my videos, or at least some of them, you probably know I'm a ridiculous Sonic fan. So this is biased. This is completely biased. It's not at all objective. And it's pretty obvious. I love this game. So yeah, let me just gush about this game for a minute. This game is awesome. I am just having a blast with it. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way first. Obviously, it's Sonic Generations. The Sonic side of it is just Sonic Generations. It's got a slightly new coat of paint. It looks nicer. There is a refurbished, remastered. The story is rewritten a bit, so it's a little bit different. But I mean, it's not so different, and the difference doesn't matter as much to the point of actually making it different. And it's also kind of an awkward thing with the story because it didn't really need to be fixed or rewritten. I mean, if they're going to rewrite the entire story, that'd be great because there's not much story there to begin with. But what they did rewrite or what was rewritten doesn't really amount to much. It makes it better. It makes it a little bit more interesting, makes things fall into place better. But it also just kind of, it's not necessary. Like, I feel like if they're going to rewrite it, they could have gone a lot further. They could have done a lot better. But with what they did, at least it contextualizes things. It makes things more congruent, following the plot line, following the line of what's going on, making things make sense. So it's good, but ultimately it wasn't necessary, and it could have been better. But it's good. It's good for what it is. And honestly, the thing is that they didn't need to, and they went above and beyond to do it. So sure, okay. Anyway, that's that. The Sonic Generations portion is just good. I mean, if you played Sonic Generations before, you know it's good. It's great. It's a great game. The game itself hasn't been changed except for the drop dash. Oh my goodness, the drop dash. I hate it. Okay, let me preface this. I don't think it was a necessary thing to add to the game. Classic Sonic? Yeah, sure. It's great. I love Classic Sonic with the drop dash. I think it's awesome. It's fun. It is part of Classic Sonic's move set now, and it's good. Why not? It should be in the games. Why isn't it in challenge modes? Because it's a skill. Why is it a skill? It should just be part of Classic Sonic's move set. It should be part of his button commands. Because guess what? It's part of Modern Sonic's. It's not a skill on Modern Sonic, and that's atrocious because it messes with the gameplay. In my opinion, it messes hard with the gameplay of Modern Sonic. Now I'm going to get into that in a minute, but I think that it's fine for Classic Sonic. It's great. It's fun. It's usable, and it adds to the gameplay, adds to the flow. But I hate that it's a skill, and I hate that it doesn't work in challenge maps or challenge levels. Because just like what? So it only works, not even half the time you're playing the game because there are 5 challenges for every single act. So there's, I forgot how many acts there are. Obviously I haven't finished it because this is a raw impression. It's not a review. So, there's however many acts there are, but there's 5 times that for the challenges. So for a large multiple of the levels you're going to be playing, you can't actually use the drop dash. And I feel like that's just silly. Because I get it, they're challenges, they're supposed to be challenging, but then why add it into the game if only like a few levels even have it? Why? Just why bother? So I feel like it should just been part of his moveset to begin with, period. And again, like Modern Sonic didn't need it at all. It's complete garbage. I hate it. Because Modern Sonic is already slippery. He was slippery in Generations. He is still slippery. They didn't tighten it. But then again, of course, they weren't really going to. They just polished up the game's looks, so they didn't really need to. The game is already pretty solid as a game. They didn't need to tighten up his movements. But my point is, it doesn't add to Modern Sonic. It doesn't add to him at all. And actually, in my opinion, it hurts him. And what I mean by that is that there are a lot of times where I've tried to do more exact platforming and I've accidentally drop dashed because I was holding the X button or holding the jump button. I play on PlayStation, it's X button. And or just holding the jump, or I held it a little bit too long, or I prepped myself to land the jump again, but I prepped and pressed just too soon and it activated drop dash and Sonic goes spinning off into dead. And other times where I'm like, I'll jump, air dash, and like try to position myself in the correct way, and then my drop dash kicked in because I held the button just a little too long on the air dash, and boom, I'm gone again, and I die because of that. So I feel like the drop dash was a very stupid thing for Modern Sonic to have, and I feel like it was unnecessary. I just feel like it was unnecessary in this game. It didn't help. It didn't do anything good. It wasn't a good addition for Modern Sonic in this game. For Classic Sonic, it's great, but now, see, Modern Sonic can do it everywhere because it's part of his moveset. It's part of his buttons, period. But no, Classic, no, it's not part of his buttons. So he can only do it in the standard stages, and that's just stupid. So yeah, that's just stupid. That is just really stupid. Anyway, let's go into the real meat and potatoes of this. Start talking about Shadow Generations, the actual new portion, the actual new game. It's awesome. It's beautiful. In fact, the problem with it is that it's too good. It's too good when it sits next to Sonic Generations. Like I said, Sonic already doesn't control very well. He doesn't control as good as he did Frontiers, obviously, because Frontiers is later. It's been improved. So it's noticeable that Sonic doesn't control as well, especially going back from Frontiers. But then the real problem that makes it super noticeable is Shadow, on the other side of the game, also controls so much better. Like, if you go in, play a little bit of Modern Sonic, then jump over to Shadow, you could notice so much difference. Shadow controls so much better. He's so much tighter. His jumps are better. He doesn't have the drop dash, so his jumps are more accurate. His movements are more accurate. I find myself overcompensating a lot because I'll go to make it jump to a platform with Shadow, and I'll jump and I'll be like, okay, I gotta stop now because I'm gonna make it too far. I'm gonna jump too far. I'm gonna jump over that platform, and then Shadow just stops in midair and die. And it's like, no, that's right, because Sonic doesn't stop on a dime. Sonic slides around the level and carries a lot of momentum with him, but Shadow actually stops. He actually is very tight to control. So I have to readjust my playstyle playing a Shadow and realize that I actually have to make that jump, get myself over that line, make sure I made that jump. Then I can stop. Whereas Sonic, it's like, no, I can stop a little bit early because Sonic will keep going after I stop. So it's ridiculously noticeable going back and forth how much better Shadow controls. And the funny thing is that Sonic, it's not actually a problem for him to control this way. If he needs a little bit of time to slow down and stop, that kind of makes sense. I agree with that notion of that a lot of people say. And but the problem is that he shouldn't be slippery. It should be like a skid. It should be like a brake. And yes, there could also be a brake button for one of his buttons. But the fact that he just starts slipping and sliding everywhere around the level is not how it should function, and that's where it's bad. But anyway, like I said, to get back to Shadow Generations, the rest of Shadow Generations is amazing though, and obviously it's all amazing. It feels really good. It feels tight. It feels good. The controls are responsive. They're good. The new powers are awesome. The only thing I don't like about the new powers is they seem pretty situational, which I mean, like, I've only unlocked a few. I've only unlocked the Surf. I used the wings once, which I'm kind of curious as to why they haven't appeared again. And that's it. And I've unlocked the Chaos Spear, and it's not Chaos Spear, the Doom Spear. And the Doom Spear is pretty obvious, like how you make use of it. But the Surf is very situational, and I mean, it's good. It's not bad. It's just very situational. And I feel like the wings are also pretty situational, at least for what I've seen so far. Like, the wings have not activated again, and they were useful in that level, in that section. I'm not sure if they'd always be useful or always be usable. So they seem kind of situational. But obviously that might change. We'll see how things go with the rest of the game. The one thing I would say that I don't entirely enjoy how Shadow still has like a homing attack when he does the springs. He does this awesome like teleportation homing attack when he attacks things, but then when he goes to a spring, he just homing attacks like normal. It'd be kind of cool if he just still teleported. I mean, just to keep it all fluid. But it's a minor thing. And what else? Oh, I love how Shadow boosts. His boost looks so cool. Like he just starts like flying in that direction, using his shoes to just propel him. It just looks awesome. I love the way that he looks doing it. And what else is there? I mean, the white space looks freaking awesome. I love it. I love running around in it. It does just feel like playing around in Frontiers. The level is awesome. And everything fits now. Like the art direction is great. It makes sense as to why it's all awkward and rails and everywhere and platforms and things. Like this is the white space. It's all broken up and broken in time and everything. It makes sense why all these things look like this. So I mean, it's not weird and silly like it was in Frontiers. It makes sense. So the game is just good. Oh, and Chaos Control. Chaos Control is so much fun. I love using Chaos Control. It's just very fun for like how they let you use it, what you can do with it, and it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. I like it. You get to slow down the level, slow down the things, or time stop, and it really does change the factor of like what you can and can't do, and change if you're gonna get like an A or an S. It helps. It helps a lot. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I love it. And I like how they actually, set in stone what Shadow can do and what he can't do. That Chaos Snap, or his little, homing attack teleportation, is the Chaos Snap where he can do short distance teleportations. And Chaos Control is actually just time stop, which is what it was always, time stop. It's not a giant warp. It's time stop, and how far he can move in time as it stopped. It makes it look like he's warping, but he's not really warping. Which brings to the question how Sonic used Chaos Control to get off the little spaceship and then end up over there. How did he stop time and end up over there? I think he technically used Chaos Snap then. But anyway, point of the matter is, it's good. It's really solid. I like how he's met up with Maria and Gerald. Gerald seems like he understands what's going on, and like he's kind of seeing what Shadow might be thinking about, like how to like save them from their fate. And like I think Gerald kind of knows what's going on. I think we're gonna see how that develops. So anyway, the game is really solid, really good, and I'm really enjoying it. The only thing I don't like about Shadow Generations right now, I would say, is how many collectibles there are all over the white space. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's made so I can explore the white space and have fun exploring it. But I also feel like it's kind of tedious, and I'm definitely gonna need if I want to platinum the game. I'm definitely gonna need to find a little map on like where all the collectibles are, so I get them all and make sure I got them all for to just do that. But anyway, it's not a big issue. Plus, the white spaces isn't actually all that big, and also, I wish the game had a mini-map. Now, the mini-map might make it a little bit confusing. It might be a little bit annoying on the screen, but the white space isn't that big, but it's big enough that I feel like sometimes I want to know where things are on the map, and I open the map a lot. I feel like it'd be nice if there was a mini-map. But anyway, whatever. But yeah, let's wrap this up because we're getting close to 15 minutes. I don't want this to be too long of a video. So yeah, Sonic X Shadow Generations is awesome. I love it. I'm a big Sonic fan. I obviously was going to love it. And but this is a raw impression. So we'll come back when I finish the game, when I platinum it. We'll do some pros and cons and see how it really ranks up to how good of a game it is and how my review really is. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it. Pretty sure it's not gonna change too much. So I'll see you next time in the full review. See you later.
Well, that was my raw impression. So, what do you think? Am I wrong about the game? Am I right about the game? Do you think I'll change after my review, after I finish the game? Let's see. But either way, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to stick around. Doesn't matter. I'll be here next time with another raw impression and another time with another raw review. So, I'll see you later, and let's just keep doing it raw, baby.